The NBA is going strong right now, and already we have some memorable highlights from the 76ers going and surprising everyone with their record, to Steph Curry going and scoring 62 points in a game, and more. The season is aiming to be something special. But if you look at NBA history as a whole, there are plenty of moments that, well, just not as nice. In fact, they're downright embarrassing. Some were player goofs, others were outbursts, and so on. So allow us to show you some of the most embarrassing moments in NBA history. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 8. Who's inbounding the ball? One of the things that sometimes gets lost in the hustle and bustle of playing basketball is that it really is a team sport, and it's almost always embarrassing when the team doesn't get what's going on, and thus stupidity happens. Take this play for example. If you look at the court, you'll see that there are 10 players on it. No problems there, but where's the ref? Exactly, he's on the sideline waiting for one of the Bulls to actually come and inbound the ball. But since all of them are on the court, they can't do that. Pretty bad when the coach of the Bulls looked at this after it happened and had the face of, how in the heck did that just happen? You can bet they were taught to make sure that never happened again. Number 7. LeBron and the Lakers. This one might sound odd at first because the Lakers are the current reigning champs in the NBA, but here's the thing. That was in LeBron's second year in LA. His first year? Well, it's not so good. In fact, not only did he have injuries that made him miss a lot of games for the first time in his career, not only did his team not make the playoffs, breaking a streak he had since his first run in Cleveland, but his team hated him because of his attitude. LeBron has been called a bad teammate by many in the past, but this pushed it to the limit. So much so that in a truly embarrassing moment, LeBron went to sit on the bench, and his teammates intentionally moved down the bench so there was a very visible gap between the two groups. Yes, LeBron got a title later, but that moment is going to stick with him. Number 6. The definition of an air ball. Shooting a free throw is a critical part of the game of basketball. These points can mean the difference between winning and losing, but sometimes it can get ugly in regards to just how bad these players are that are shooting them at times, such as this time with this player. Yeah, that's painful to watch. Granted, the guy has pressure on him, as does everyone who steps to the line, but you're really trying to tell us you couldn't get it a little closer to the net? Airballs are one thing. They're a fact of life in the NBA at times. But this was just embarrassing. Number 5. Michael Jordan's first return. When you talk about Michael Jordan, there are so many memorable moments that you can't help but watch in awe. And if you need a reminder of those moments, we strongly recommend The Last Dance on Netflix. But here's the thing, MJ had some goofs in his time as well. And while we could have put his time with the Wizards on here, we felt it would be better to talk about his first true return from retirement. It was after his stint in baseball, and Michael Jordan proudly proclaimed to the world, "I'm back." But if you look at his first game back, it wasn't his best ever. He didn't have that flow and rhythm that many expected, and to top it all off, he wore his shorts backwards. Now yes, obviously he did get his groove back and won 3 more NBA titles, but that night was definitely not his best. Number 4. Just a bit outside. When it comes to slam dunks, they're more than an attempt to get 2 points. It's meant as a statement that your defense is so bad that they can literally just go up to the hoop and jam it in there for all to see. The only problem is, you need to make the dunk. A player on the 76ers, Spates, tried to do a dunk to do all of those things. He got a perfect pass, he drove to the rim, jumped over the defender, but whiffed on the dunk. How do you whiff on a slam dunk? We don't know, but it's embarrassing. Number 3. 73-9. The year that the Golden State Warriors went 73-9 in the regular season was supposed to be something special, momentous. They had beaten a record that day set by Michael Jordan and his Bulls during his second run that no one thought would be beat, and yet they did it. They had all the momentum going into the playoffs, and sure enough, they made it into the finals, where they faced their soon-to-be true rivals in the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were up 3-1 in the finals, and were all but crowned the greatest team ever. And then they lost 3 games straight. Now, there are many factors as to why it happened, but the bottom line is, it happened, and it was embarrassing. It was so embarrassing for the Warriors that they went and brought in Kevin Durant to ensure they didn't do that again. Number 2, the J.R. Smith blown play. This is another all-time classic embarrassing play, and just as ironically, it also features the Warriors and the Cavaliers, except this time, the Cavaliers goofed big time. During the 2018 NBA Finals between these two teams, Game 1 was everything it was hyped up to be. With mere seconds left in the fourth quarter, the Warriors were up by 1 when George Hill was fouled and sent to the line. The goal was simple, either make 1 or 2 and try and make sure the Warriors don't score again. Hill made the first one, but missed the second. And who rebounded the ball? J.R. Smith. And when he did, he didn't put up a shot, he ran out the clock. Why? Because in his own words, he thought they were up. Yes, this really happened, and it was something that would never be forgotten because of what was to follow. His teammate Lebron James was furious, and they lost the game in overtime because of this blow to their momentum. The fury of LeBron carried into the locker room, where he well and truly broke his hand because of how everything went down, which of course then caused the Cavaliers to suffer more, and they got swept from the playoffs. Now, to be fair, if they had won Game 1, there's no guarantee that they would have won the finals, but that dunce move by JR most definitely cost them a lot, including LeBron, both in the series and when he bolted to the Lakers. Plus, the actual moment of the goof is now meme material for the rest of Smith and LeBron's life. You know you messed up when you have a meme made about you. Number 1. Malice at the Palace. As we've shown throughout this list, there are many kinds of levels of embarrassment. There are simple goofs, there are dumb plays, dumb moves, brain farts, and then J.R. Smith. But there is a type of embarrassment that goes beyond all of that, and that is when a moment is literally embarrassing for the entire NBA, which is what happened at the Malice at the Palace. This happened in 2004 in a game between the Detroit Pistons and the Indianapolis Pacers. Players Ben Wallace from Detroit and Ron Artest from the Pacers got into a heated shoving match that cleared the benches. That already was bad. But then a fan threw a drink at Artest, and Artest reacted by going up into the stands and fighting with the fans, which prompted even more violence after that. It was not a good scene. After the game, the NBA suspended 9 players for a total of 146 games, leading to the players losing $11 million in salary. 5 players were charged with assault and eventually sentenced to a year of probation and community service. 5 fans also faced criminal charges and were banned from attending Pistons home games for life. The fight also led to the NBA to increase security between players and fans and limit the sale of alcohol in games. This scene was one that the NBA doesn't like to recall, and for all the right reasons. This event hurt the integrity of the game, the league, and more. It was an act that showed the NBA can't control their players or their fans, which is not something they want hanging over their heads. While improvements have been made, the Malice in the Palace will indeed forever be one of the most embarrassing things in NBA history. Hopefully nothing like that ever happens again. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at the moments that the NBA looks on and probably wishes went a different way in one form or another? Can you believe the moments that were shown here? Which ones made you cringe overall when you saw them or heard them? Do you know of any other moments that should be on this list? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.